This way.
All right, it's the man of the hour. Oh, well, let's get in here.
This rat king
nice
could be
little pat.
anywhere, Jim. How the hell do we find him?
We don't. He does.
Hello.
So we're getting the band back together. It's good to see you.
Ooh, nice little firm handshake here.
In a minute.
It's just me today. Jill is very, very sick. If you were wondering why it's been so
Tony, I
long since we
worried
uploaded this.
Be a one-time thing. Look at us. Just like before.
This is nothing like before. Gotham is under attack.
Wow, what's new? That's not good.
Targets are all city employees, civil servants, public officials. The attacks are getting bigger, bolder, deadlier.
And these guys can't spell.
I'm fine.
We know they're well organized, but we know almost nothing about who's behind it.
Until tonight.
Batman,
Unacceptable.
those cops you saved in the sewers, they recovered this.
Gotham is a house divided unequally. The cops, the courts, the clique control us. By my orders, gut the pigs in the pigsty. Move us closer to our day of wrath, so that in 1 week's time, the shaky pillars of Gotham fall.
I was hoping this would be Rule 34.
Charred bones of brutish pigs and bloated cats. We build our kingdom.
What are you looking at here, sport?
In 1 week's time, the shaky pillars of Gotham will fall.
Look, there's an A for anarchy there, and I'm wondering if that
Nothing. The rats spill blood, not secrets. Their words. But if anyone could make them talk, it's you.
Just make sure to leave some scraps for the DA's office this time.
I'll find this Rat King. I'll stop this day of wrath.
I really like the anarchy reference.
Promise Leslie.
Tompkins.
Yeah, you know her?
Be safe out there, Harvey. And for what it's worth, happy 4th of July.
Is that today?
All right, there goes our friend.
One more thing.
Is it about me reaching for your gun?
Step outside with me. I need a smoke.
Oh, great. I've had this conversation with my principal and my uncle, and both of them did not go the way I wanted. So yeah, Jill is very sick today. She does not even have a voice, but if we look in close here, if I can ever get a hold of the controls, and like I said, I'm reacting to this after I did it. It's kind of the easiest way to do this with VR. It might be just kind of standardly what we do now, but we'll see. But there's a list of names here like Jim Gordon, Harvey Dent. You know, there's a lot of people on that list. It's almost like the Diddy list or the Epstein list. I don't know which, but maybe it's a combination. And then there's another phone number here as well. I think Bruce. I think that Gordon was trying to get some booty, but unfortunately we can't watch the type of films. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, we can't watch the type of films that I want to watch on the TV here. But regardless, there was another Scarecrow reference here. This is something I want to talk about that I think is very interesting. We read through some of this. There is a masked hero saves top cop here, and basically they're talking about a vigilante copycat of Batman who wasn't Batman. I was saved by some cape, but it wasn't Batman. Copy Bat vigilante strikes again. Masked hero saves cop, obviously. And basically it kind of goes on to say that there was an attempted carjacking in Chinatown that came to a sudden end. I'm not going to have time to read all this because I can't control it right now. Miranda Rowe was stopped at the intersection, and essentially her vehicle was approached by a man with a pistol who ordered her to exit the car and leave the keys. She later reported that she was trying to get her 8-year-old daughter out of the back when Todd blah blah blah, but basically this was interrupted by a vigilante. So it's interesting because they're trying to figure out if there's a bunch of imitators in Gotham City that are like copying Batman, since, you know, he hasn't really been a vigilante for very long at this point, which I thought was kind of cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the whole thing with like the Dark Knight at the beginning of it. Not that there's never been Batman copycats, but that's just the one that kind of comes to mind for me. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what I was talking about here when I actually tried to record this the first time and our audio got ruined. But I do think it's cool that they actually made this so that you can read the entire article. Oh, by the way, Quincy Sharp was mentioned here, appearing before the city council and basically advocating for Arkham Asylum to be reopened. So he wanted Arkham Asylum back, and he was basically kind of like, this copycat thing was paving the way for Arkham Asylum's reopening in a lot of ways, which I thought was really, really interesting. And then obviously that goes on to pave the way a little bit, sorry, I'm burping here, for Arkham City. So yeah, there's a direct Arkham Asylum reference here, and he said, this dangerous vigilante lurking on our rooftops and endangering your children. And then Sharp elaborated, saying that the lionization of a mass criminal who assaults citizens on the streets. And he went on to basically use it as a way to try and push the reopening of the asylum. So I actually thought that was really cool. And this kind of leads me to something where I think this game really succeeds and excels, which is respecting the source material. Like, if you look at these different things, right? I try to get in here, but I can't really tell what's going on. But you look at these different things, and it's very clear that the team making this game cared about the lore of Batman and kind of how things ended up the way they did. That's been a big question, is like how we got to the point we got to. And here I am destroying evidence. But how we got to the point that we got to with essentially like, you know, Arkham Asylum and then City in the Night and stuff. Like, how do we get from Origins to that? And I thought that was really interesting that they try and get into some of that building blocks for why the asylum would open again. Which, by the way, they think the Bigfoot could be Batman, and we got like an actual Neanderthal Bigfoot picture here. So I think that's pretty cool. There's the opportunity that it's aliens, unknown aircraft, so that's the Batplane. Is it Santa Claus? Who knows? But here's what's funny. They had a 0.2% chance idea that it could be Bruce Wayne, which I think is just supposed to be a joke, but in canon, that's crazy to me that they were onto that. Jill got a real kick out of the Dracula thing, but I don't know. This to me was like one of those things where I was like, I appreciate the joke, but in some ways, I feel like it kind of like ruins part of like who. It ruins a little bit of the mystique of Batman that they even were onto that, but I guess it does make sense, you know. It also seems like they're not actually too concerned about who Batman is anymore. Like, they have a board up, but they don't really seem to care to stop Batman for the most part. They more just care like about using Batman to, you know, take out the criminals, which is, I guess, the point. I do like also they took so much time with the assets in this to make this entire not chalkboard, or basically like whiteboard with marker. But anyway, we should probably talk to Gordon before we piss him off. Oh, and that hit me in the face. That's not cool. I wish Jill was here. I wish she wasn't sick.
Right. Look, I don't know where the Rat King is, but got a hunch. I placed an officer undercover. Where?
Was it Officer Balls? Oh no!
Are you hit? I'm fine. Just
Go after that son of a bitch!
The shot came from the Beacon Hotel.
My first instinct here was just to grapple all the way to the Beacon Hotel, but that is not what they want me to do, and I fell. I am not getting a hang of that at all. Oh, and by the way, that lagged for me too. That's for the casting. Somebody mentioned this, by the way. I want to look at the comments because maybe that would actually help, but I guess one of you said that the casting feature is pretty bad on the MetaQuest. That's not just us. Like, that's how we have to record it. And it sucks because I feel like you guys seeing the game are not seeing how good it is.
Clearing on Miyagani Island. Still rooftop activity in Old Gotham.
Like, you're seeing a really nerfed version of the game. You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing like a very low quality representation of this actual game.
Try to be first. Bet the cops locked down Jezebel. Cops? What a bat.
But regardless, it's still a very cool game. I really do like it. I just kind of wish that I do wish the casting was better, but somebody did mention it was Dynamic Duo Pictures 1942 that there is a shaky hand option on the quest, so I'm going to be looking at that. I did try, yeah, see, like that doesn't, that lag, it's like it makes parts of it unwatchable. Like that's not my internet. And it's not the video that I'm, it's not the video processing or anything. This is because of the actual quest and trying to show it to you. Like, I'm seeing this in pretty much crystal clear, but the ways to record the quest are you can do a cable that it doesn't come with. You have to buy it and use third-party software essentially and go into developer mode on the quest using like code, and then you have to show it that way. Or you can do this. And if you do the developer code thing, it's kind of in more of like a wide VR type thing, and it actually limits my view in the thing, so it makes it even harder to play. Or there's a third option I saw, which is using a cord, but then what ends up happening, and that was a mistake, I'm sorry guys, I'm just bad. I'm not even gonna make an excuse for that. Then what ends up happening though if you do that is that like you guys see it almost from a goggle point of view where it's like the two kind of circles, and then if you're not watching this in a headset, then it looks like garbage. Like it just looks like shit for you. So it's like I have to decide, do I want this to lag sometimes and not have the best audio like this? Do I want it to have like the widest view ever? You know, or do I want
opens this door.
It's like pick your poison, and I wish this was as easy to record as the PlayStation VR. Oh yeah, here's me. I guess I was talking about my hand condition here, about my shaky hands, but I was trying to explain. I will look for that. I will look for that setting because I could not find a motion blur setting for this game or like a general setting that would affect it. But some of the reason that you guys see like me make mistakes sometimes it's just because I'm stupid, but other times it's because my hands shake
Switch nearby.
like naturally, and I think I might have mentioned this in a previous part, but I have fibromyalgia, which is...
I have intel on one of the Rat King's top lieutenants.
Barbara, how did you...
They call him Shrike. I tried to tell my dad, but he...
Stay off this channel. Alfred, look into this Shrike.
Certainly. Though the young Miss Gordon might...
Do not encourage her.
So anyway, I'm glad Barbara's back. We'll talk to her in a bit. But I was going to say, I have fibromyalgia, which is like a severe nerve problem. It causes shakiness and weakness. I have erythromyalgia, which causes like really bad pain and flare-ups and stuff like that. And I have a few other things, but essentially, oh yeah, I have to remember how to jump here. Essentially, those things make it really hard for me to play games for an extended period of time. It's one reason why playing through games actually takes me longer than most people. And depending on what game I play, sometimes it's difficult. Like with this game, it's actually easier because there's not as many button presses, but then the shakiness and stuff still messes obviously with the camera. I don't know why I can't get over that. I did press forward. It does mess with the camera a little bit and with my gameplay sometimes, but maybe that shaky hands method will help. I like that you can see Ace out there, by the way, out in the distance. This is the Be Hard area, so I'm already there. So I know that it's just me this time, and I get that I'm not the... Man, I ate something bad. Dying here. I know I'm not the funniest person of my own. Usually if I have a chat to react to or something, it's a little better. Or if I have something to rant about. So keep in mind, Jill would be here for this.
The Beacon Hotel. I'm close. That ledge won't hold me. I'll find higher ground.
Do you notice any kind of difference between like when we react to this stuff as it's happening, or if we make a video like part 3 or this one where we react after? Because Jill and I found that it was actually easier to play the game and then talk, you know, and talk about it and react. And it was about the same for like being hopefully funny, and about the same for actual content, except it was just easier to find stuff to talk about because I wasn't so distracted by every element.
I'm unsure whether the crane's here to repair or destroy.
But you guys can let us know, because like we can always go back to the other style. It's just there might be a couple parts in this style first if you do want the other one. Also, if you've played this game, why is it that when I push forward to mantle and there's a railing, I fall off half the time? let me know. And it
Lock.
could just be
And
incompetence.
the keypad.
But yeah, if there's a way you prefer us to do it, you can tell me. Personally, I actually like this one better when Jill's with me. And here I didn't realize that I have to press enter. But you guys can let me know. But anyway, so thank you very much to Dynamic Duo Pictures for pointing that out. I will try that setting. Nicholas McMath, she was here and is always very, very nice, and had said basically, we had talked about Jill having problems at work again, and Nicholas had said that, you know, they hope that that would get better, which I hope so too. I appreciate that. You know,
Power. There. The crane is active. One lever to lift, the other to pivot.
I've never driven one of these, but I wanted to. Which I was gonna say, we appreciate that. You know, Jill being in the food service industry, that's just always been shitty. Like, I get people being dicks to me all day long, but I can ignore them. You know what I mean? Like, or I can mute them, or I can not open their emails, or I can just block them. You can't really do that in real life. So that's kind of the sucky thing with like Jill being a waitress, is it's like everybody's got their problems, right? But it's like you're kind of expected to just deal with people's bullshit and have no negative, never let them know, you know, that you're upset. I guess it's that way in a lot of jobs, but it's unfortunate. We do appreciate the well wishes though, and you know, if anybody wants to wish Jill well in the chat, I'm sure, or in the comments, I'm sure she'd really appreciate that, because she has been very under the weather. She lost her voice. She works the next couple of days here too at the restaurant, so she like got sick a few, like probably 4 days ago, and like just kind of tried to take it easy so she'd be able to work, because she didn't want to get in trouble or lose a bunch of money. And technically Jill makes more money at her job than I make doing all of this YouTube stuff, so...
Number 2. What's number 3?
I'll investigate his sniper's nest.
So yeah, we don't exactly want to lose that, but I did make sure that this guy will not have more little baby criminals. So where do we go now? Where do we go now? Oh yes, the comments. I was going to look more at the comments. You see, at first I thought it would be an electrified batarang there, but it was just a switch. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I think I was just playing around. Do I actually go? Oh, okay, I made it. Good. So look at this on the left. This is really cool, and I saw something about this before, but if you look up there on the left, if I ever look, yes, Jonathan Crane. So he is writing a book, essentially, Illuminating the Tenorous Self by Dr. Jonathan Crane. Get your copy signed in person. So we've already got the makings of the Scarecrow. That's really cool.
Shrike fired at Gordon from around here and then fled. I searched the area for evidence. I should be able to track his destination. Setting up a crime scene perimeter.
Again, that's just them caring about the lore. But I was going to say it was Al Sims 2007 who mentioned that the casting is bad. Yeah, you were saying, I want to show people VR, but it makes the experience horrible for everyone. I do know there's a better way to record using the Dev
Shrike
Hub.
was burning paper with a butane lighter while he waited for his shot. Nervous habit. Andy left some fingerprints behind. He'll come in handy. Alfred, I'm uploading prints. If Shrike has any priors, it should narrow our search.
Very good, sir.
There should be more evidence around.
But it crops your view in VR and you have to tether yourself to the PC. Yeah, that's a huge
Heptane,
problem.
Acetone, and methanol. Gun cleaner. Shrike would have been rushing to escape. Spatter analysis suggests he dropped an aerosol container. The gun cleaner combined with the butane from the paper Shrike was burning could be enough for me to perform a chemical trace and track his location. Initiating.
I do like the crime scenes in first person. Like, the first person crime scenes are so cool. I can tell that the people who worked on this were huge Origins fans like me, but I can also tell that they cared about the general lore, which I think is great, because this acts as a bridge for Origins and the rest of the series. It just makes me sad so many people won't play it, because, like, I get it. I get for the people who...
I can smell it. That's the sound of our victory.
This doesn't matter too much, but I get that for the people who like defend, you know, the meta quest as a platform a ton, the defense is, hey, look, we would have never gotten this game if Meta hadn't funded it. And I get that. I agree with that. I understand. But to me, it's frustrating that so many people, you know, especially console players, they'll never buy a Meta Quest, you know? And even for me, when I'm trying to share this with people, the casting is so bad that it's genuinely really hard to show you guys. Like, look, you can ignore the fact I suck, okay? I get that. But it does make it so that it's hard to actually show you guys what's going on, because there's only so much I can show you. I also had never done this before, so I didn't really know what this was. But there is a climbing mechanic on some of these buildings, which is actually really cool when you get the hang of it. Keep in mind, it's like watching this is like baby's first VR game, because I was never a big VR gamer. So shout out to Ryan Payton, obviously, for helping me get my hands on this game. I really do appreciate it. You guys did make a really good game. It just bums me out that it's like hard to show it to people. Like I wish there was a better way to record, and maybe that's something I'll ask him about. Like I would love to actually message him, because I am in contact with him. Not like we're BFFs or anything, but I do plan to talk to him about this game in the future, like on the channel, on Degenerate Jay, and it might actually be a good idea to ask him, like, hey, do you know of a better way to record gameplay like that you guys use? Again, I know there's the developer hub, but I don't know if that would really work, or if casting is just kind of where we're stuck. But I'm hoping that, like, this is better than nothing, you know, like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, like, I'm limited by the technology I have to work with here, but I like the game that the technology is on. And this is the similar problem I have with certain old games. Like, there are some old games that are very hard for me to record to show you guys, but that I like the game a lot. And the PS3 was that way for years.
Shrike fled into the elevator.
So anyway, you can let us know, like, what you think about this style of commentary. Obviously, again, you know, Jill would be in future ones. It's just she's sick. So you can let us know about that. That elevator door just closed for Jill, who's probably editing this. So you might have to throw a picture or something here for a minute. But I did want to say, let me know what you think about that, what you think about the casting stuff, what you think about all of it. I am interested. I do read your guys' comments, especially on this channel. Like, it's a lot smaller of a channel, so it's a lot easier for me to keep up. I don't respond to every comment, but I do actually read them and try and see what you guys are thinking and what everybody's saying. So again, this style of commentary, you know, keep in mind, like, it would probably be more like the previous part where Jill was with me. Do you prefer it like during it, where like I'm kind of in the distance and Jill's right there, or do you prefer it after, where we can have more of like a casual conversation? I guess, what do you prefer? And also, like, do you know a better way to record this system? Because I really don't. But anyway, I appreciate you all. I know the parts have been a little short lately, and you're probably like, well, why can this asshole, like, upload 500 parts of Assassin's Creed, but he can't get to this? It's hard to record this. It's actually very hard to edit because of, like, the aspect ratio, the quest casting, all of that stuff. And then with Jill being sick and our audio having been corrupted from before, it's kind of like we have to re-edit it 3 times. So it's been a pain, but I am committed to uploading this game. It's just going to take a little bit at a time, so I appreciate your patience on that. But thanks. So we'll see you in the next one.